Welcome to a guide to new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It is Wednesday, the 4th of September. See if I can get that right today. It all went horribly wrong yesterday. The date I managed to get right, wrong month. So we are in September. We have new mods, more new mods. Busy week this week for Giants. They are clearing these at quite a rate. In front of us, oh, this is right up my street. I love that. Anyway, let's crack on. We have got the International Harvester 33 series. This is by NLD Maaslandmods. This will set you back 15 slots. Old tractors may not be your thing. Boxy tractors may not be your thing. I mean, it's quite plain in so much as textures wise, the details all there, everything is where it needs to be. But then when you look at a lot of these old tractors, that's what they look like. I like it. Very nicely put together. Let's have a look, shall we? This is under small tractors. It's only 29,000 for the base model. We've got a few options. It starts off on a 45 horsepower, which isn't a lot, but then if you're going to be doing small farming, we need that old classic pack with all the old little bits of machinery. There are some bits of machinery that require very low horsepower in game, but not many. We need something to follow up with this. Be a nice little machine just for pootling around and pulling a trailer and doing little odds and ends around a yard. But anyway, so design, we can have default with a roll bar, or we can have roll bar with a beacon. We can have attachers, default, front weight, and that's it. And then we've got engine setup. The 533 is 45 horsepower. The 633 is 52 horsepower. The 733 is 60 horsepower. And the 833 is 67 horsepower. Of course I went for the 833, why wouldn't you? And those are your options. There's no front loader attached or anything like that. I don't know. It's nice. Anyway, what does it sound like? It's actually quite loud, to be fair. Really 3-point link. Lights. Oh, just love it. I'm just smiling like a little kid here. Very cool. Right, let's drive this over to the next one just because I really enjoy it. Or the next one we're going to look at anyway. So, we have got here the Kun Profile 1880. This is by Melody98. That's right. It's an 18,000 litre feed mixer wagon for making total mix ration, that kind of thing. Left and right unload chute, not a rear one. Very nicely detailed. Now you may be saying, you know, the usual. What's the point? Why do we want an 18,000 litre? Well, not everyone starts off with massive, mixing wagons. What's good about this one though is the price. If we go across animals, the Silo King Trailed Line Duo, the 1814, is a 16,000 litre for 53 grand. We've got the Kun RA 11,000 litre for 41 grand. Then we've got the Anderson pack. Actually, no, that was that's right. We've got the Anderson A700, which is 23,000 litres for 70,000, and then it goes up from there. This one is only 39 grand for an 18,000 litre. That's brilliant. So if you are kind of starting out and you're your first foray into doing cows maybe, and the mixer wagons can be a little bit pricey, that's not a bad price, 39 grand. There's no options available, it is what it is, you get what you get. But I think that's a pretty good price, that 39 grand. What I am going to do is just, it's probably not the tractor I need for doing it, but just going to check to see whether the display, because there is a display there, probably because there's nothing in it. Let me just check. I'll drive it over to my just gives me another chance to use the tractor, doesn't it really? I'm just going to buy some, oh, let's just put straw in it, doesn't really matter. And stop there, 5,806 litres. Oh yeah, that's nice, nice touch, I like that. I thought I'd better check it. So it seemed quite prominent on the front there. There you go, the display works. Very cool indeed. Right. I already need to get out of that now. Next up we have got this. This is the Lizard CLT 300. This is a cultivator. This is by Paolo 5090R. It's a 3 metre cultivator. Again, lovely details. Nothing wrong with it. Very cool. This comes under, I think it's just standard cultivators. It's not a disc harrow. There we go, the Lizard CLT 300, 8,500 to buy. Did I say how many slots it was? 3. It's only 3 slots. That's not bad at all, is it? The Kun Profile was 5 slots. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Very cool. I like that. Options available. We can change the main colour to any of the things that you see in front of you. If you want to go with a pink cultivator, if that's your thing. There you go. That is your option. Next, and it's tucked away just behind here, is this. This is the American Fire Hydrant. This is by C+S Modding and Annmarie. The same people that made the standpipe that I like, really like. It's just, you know, for the American maps. Again, a nice little one you can tuck away in the corner. It's not expensive. It's got quite a high flow rate, so for filling up big tankers and stuff, it goes very, very quickly. Takes up very, very little space. It's just pretty cool, isn't it? It's nice. I like that. I love the standpipe, so there's absolutely no reason at all why I wouldn't like this. This is under miscellaneous. There you go. It's only 1,500 and only 1 slot. You can't go wrong, can you, with that, really? The standpipe one was free, not to buy, but once you've bought it, the water that comes out is free. I'm going to say I assume that's the same on that. I know I probably shouldn't. Actually, you know what? Rather than getting clobbered, because I will, people will have a go at me. Let's lease that. Oh no, have I got to use the tractor again? Alright then, if I have to. So we come up alongside it, press L3, we are filling up and the money's not going down. So it is free once you've placed it for 1,500. And that is actually a very, very fast through rate. Fantastic. So there we go. That's the American Fire Hydrant by C+S Modding and Annmarie. Next up, we've got the Amazon Chiron. Get it right? The Chiron 200. This is also by Melody98. Now this is one of the ones for transport. You swing it round and the wheel comes down and you can drive it on the road, or you can lift it up on the 3-point link if you want. It's entirely up to you. Let's grab the JCB, which I've parked appallingly on the fence. So at the moment it's off the ground, but if I lower it down, drop the 3-point link, I can drive with the wheel on the ground like so. Now that back wheel doesn't turn though, I've noticed. It kind of still, oh, it does a little bit, it still kind of drags it round. But if I want to, I can lift it up and bring it off the ground, and I can just transport it like that, and the whole thing just swings around behind. For operating, it tilts, gets ready for its position, and then you lower it down. But what you can do is also L1 and square, and you can rotate the whole thing over. So when you're going up and down fields, you can always have the plough facing the correct way with your lead furrow, or your lead ploughshare for your furrow, in the correct position. Nice smooth animation, nice mod. Swing it back over again. Let's fold it back up for transport. And disconnect. Right. This obviously is under plough. I say obviously. It seems obvious, but it's under ploughs. And is there now. Only downside, it's a minor downside I suppose, it says it's the 3 metre, which isn't massive, but it's 22 grand. We have got a few other modded ones available to us at the moment, which are bigger and cheaper and that kind of thing. So, but again, you know, it's in addition to, we've got the AgroMash POH5, there's the POH 3/4 mods, there's a whole load of different ploughs and various different things like that. But that's where it kind of fits into the mix. 22 grand, options available, none. It is what it is. You get the Kron 200, and that's it. There we go. So that's by Melody98. Next we have got the shooter marker. This is the shooter marker Siewert 660. This is by Luca. It's 15 slots. A lot of lovely detail on this as well. All the lines running, the mesh, PTO. There's a lot of detail on this. A couple of nice little features as well, which I quite like on this. Let's say C1 on the back there. Yeah. Fantastic. Right, let's hook it up. I should have put the JCB over, shouldn't I? So, we can raise and lower... Hang on, where are we? Here we go. For if you're doing silage harvesting with the forage harvester, you see them there. Normally those go up and down, like forward and backwards. The fact it slides up and down like that, I love that. That's really nice. Operates very, very well. Right stick and R1. We can raise and lower the bar so we can get the level right depending on what vehicle we're towing with. We can open and close the cover. Unloading, smooth animation. Got the roller bars in the back there as well. Close it down. It does have rear axle steering. So let's have a look at it in store, shall we? This is obviously under trailers. Now, I've got a lot of trailers installed, bear with me. We've got the Seaward 720 in-game standard, that's 48,500 litres for 55 grand. And here it is, 49,513. But that's for the base model, so on the bottom left where it says 41,715 litres, that's if you get the extension. So we'll have a quick look at the options available. So standard it's 38,215 litres. We can change the rim colour to any of those, so if I wanted to go garishly green for argument's sake, I can. Configuration standard or with extension. If we go with the extension, which puts that big bit on the back, let's take that off. $41,715 takes the price up to 53,163. So it's not too bad, not too pricey. Options for tyres. We've got quite a few actually. We've got the Trelleborg 155s. We've got Trelleborg. Well, actually, this is the axle spacing, isn't it? Sorry, axle spacing. It says wheel brand, but we've got Trelleborg 155. Then we've got 180, so it actually separates the axles out a bit further. We've got the Michelin 155, the Michelin 180. Then we've got wheel setup. Shouldn't they be the other way around? Maybe not. We've got standard broad tyres. Now this is a little bit hard to see because of the shadow, but we've got broad tyres 1, broad-size 2, broad-size 3, broad-size 4, broad-size 5, and back to standard. So we've got quite a few options of broad tyres. Then we've got reflectors on the side. We can have without reflectors, we can have white reflectors, red reflectors, orange reflectors, or back to none. And then we've got with dosing rollers or without. Now that's the rollers inside that I showed you when I opened it just now. If I just swing that around a little bit. So without and with, that just helps bring everything through and kind of spread it all evenly as it comes out the back. And then we've got the option of cover, no, or yes. So yeah, a few options to play around with. But nice mod that. It is, I suppose I should have said really, it's a forage wagon. This won't do all your crops. This will only do your forage type crops, wood chips, TMR, sugarcane, silage, grass, hay, straw, that kind of thing. But it won't do grains and things like that. Right, which brings us on to the very last mod for today, and it's a beastie. It's very cool. This is the Ponds Buffalo Clam Bunk. This is by North Modding Company and Outlaw. Now we had a clam bunk, but it was slightly different to this. Oh, what manufacturer was it? Was it the John Deere clam bunk? I can't remember now. Anyway, regardless, as you can see, it's in a very nice shade, MrSealyp green. It's actually Deutz but now this is designed rather than normal Buffalo, which has got the bunk on the back, and you put all the logs into the bunk using the crane and off you go. The clam bunk is designed to be like a skidder. So you pull everything up into the clam on the back, close the clam down. This one's actually got straps as well. Absolutely fantastic. And then you drag the whole lot out to where it can then be loaded onto a truck. So it's kind of like a cross between, I mean technically it is a forwarder, but it's kind of like a skidder forwarder combo, if you want to call it that. Very, very detailed. Very, very nice. A few options to look at, and then we'll have a look at the vehicle itself. This is obviously under forestry. Now the standard Ponds Buffalo is 221,000 and 11 slots. If we go across until we find this one, it's only 221,000 as well. So it comes down to, it's not like it's ridiculously expensive and you won't be able to afford it. And this one is only 14 slots, so it's only 3 slots more. Which isn't too bad at all. Same horsepower. We can change the rim colour. That's why I went for MrSealyp green, because because you can. We can do the main colour. We can do a design colour, which is the actual clam on the back. Let's go with orange on that as well. I don't know why. Just interesting colour combo. Wheel brands, now Trelleborgs leaves it as standard, that's wheeled, and then we've got the Olis4s, which we see quite a lot on the forestry vehicles now. We've got Eco Track, Evo Baltic, X or EX, Kovacs, Magnum. Oh, there we go. There's a few to choose from. I'm going back to Trelleborg. Then we've got on the front, we can have a blade and guard removed. We can have blade and guard. We can have guard, no blade, blade, no guard. On back to blade and guard removed. Then we've got the bunk mounted, so it's only a very short bunk on the back there. Bunk mounted or bunk removed, so it depends how you want to go about it. If you want to drag everything right up so it touches that back plate, having the bunk on there kind of stops stuff from sliding sideways, kind of splaying all the logs out. In theory, that's how it should work. And those are your options available. So, as far as how does it actually work? Well, let's start it up. Now, I have actually got the... I'll open up the help menu. If I press L1, R1, I can change driving direction, which spins me round and puts me into my standard driving position for my usual driving around. But then if you want to do it for operation in the field and you want to see what you're doing a little bit easier, L1, R1, change driving direction and puts you in that position there, and then you can still drive it in the same way, just the opposite way around, or you can just have it static. It's entirely up to you. Now if I press L1, I've got it on, there are 2 control groups, control group crane, and if I change it I've got control group support arm. Control group support arm moves the blade, the dozer blade, so you can kind of raise it up to give you a more stable platform if you want, or you can use the dozer blade for moving logs around and that kind of thing. so you can raise and lower the dozer blade. If I press triangle again, it puts me back to control group crane, and the crane itself operates as the cranes normally do, up and down, left and right with my L1 and my right stick. And if I do R1 and my right stick, got those options. Let's raise it up again. And if I do L1, R1 and my right stick, I can rotate, and I can open and close, like so. Now as far as the actual clamshell goes, or the clam, if I go L1, R1 and then use my left stick side to side, I can close it down, open it up, depending on how many I've got, like so. Be careful when you're using that, because if you do the left stick and you catch it slightly wrong, you actually adjust your cruise control speed, so be careful. So it will do the clam open and close like so. Now if I go L1, R1 and then, where are we? No, just R1. R1 and R3 then puts the straps on. So at the moment they're tiny down there, but when you've got a load of logs in, it will strap around all of those logs, and you can have the whole lot kind of hanging out the back, and then you just drive out the woodland. Now it does look like that should rotate, and it is slightly twisted, but I can't find in here. The only two control groups I've got are support arm and crane, and under crane I've got my L1 and then my right stick, which does the crane like that. There's nothing else on that option. If I do R1, I've got those options. If I do L1, R1, I've got the rotation of the head, open and close of the head, and then if I use my left stick, I can open and close the clamshell, but I can't find a control that rotates that, unless that's a free, like, swivelling thing, so as you drive it allows it to move on its own. Potentially that could be what it's for. There might not actually be a control for that at all. But there you go. So you would put all your logs into the back of that and then drive out of the undergrowth, as it were. Let's change back to our normal driving position. Put the crane back to where it should be. Now as far as views go, let's close that. We've got in-cab. That's changing the driving position from in-cab. We've got side of crane, like so. And then we've got back to normal. There you go. That's the Pons Buffalo Clam Bunk by North Modding Company and Outlaw. And that, I think, is it. Did we get through them all? I think we have. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.